Good morning. I'm Mr. Galindo. I'll be the new principal for the upcoming school year. I'm very, very excited to be a part of this campus, very excited to be a part of the school district. I welcome you all to this in-service, realizing that you're math teachers. You guys get the benefit of the early training that we're fixing to endure. This training is going to be on backward design and education. I'm not the most astute person when it comes to technology, but anytime somebody wants to ooh and ah over my PowerPoint prowess, then so be it. I would welcome any kind of positive input because I'm not really sure about my own creativity. Without further ado, we'll get into backward design. Backward design, why, obviously, is the question. Well, here's part of the answers. If it's broke, fix it. Our educational system is not perfect by any stretch. It's not as in trouble. It's not in as bad a trouble as people make it out to be. But at the same time, we should all seek to improve always. One of the criticisms of our educational system is that improvement has not been coming because of a culture of stagnation and an unwillingness to progress as society progresses. So plain and simple, if it's broke, so we're going to try to fix it as a campus and as a staff and as a school district, starting with you, the math teachers. Also, because backward design is logical and necessary, and I'll explain more about that in further slides. Backward design is going to allow you, especially the teachers that are on the front line, to have clear focus for clear objectives. And if you have a clear focus for clear objectives, guess what's going to happen with the students? They're going to be very, very clear on their focus and their achievement of objectives as well. It's going to allow for consistent instruction. That's something that should excite you. No more shotgun effect, shooting arrows in the sky and seeing where they land. You'll be able to apply some consistency in your instructional methods, and if it works, then keep doing it. And if it needs to be adjusted or tweaked, then as a team we can get together and adjust or tweak if need be. Also, I'm very excited about the fact that it's going to play to your teacher strengths. In that, I mean, you chose as a profession to become a teacher long ago. You went through the hours and hours and hours of education, went through the numerous dollars of your parents or maybe even yourselves to achieve this goal. And so you should be allowed to teach. Teachers should teach. That's what teachers want to do, and that's what they should be allowed to do. And so I think backward design is going to allow you that benefit. And then finally, life relevance. You're going to get to teach students what applies to their lives. Again, it's not going to be dart throws. I'm going to teach this and teach this and teach this and teach this and hope that some of it sticks, and why I'm teaching that, I don't know, but maybe it'll pay off in the long run. That's no longer the case. I'll go back to the clear objective. We're going to have a clear objective. We're going to have clear focus. And with that is going to come the planning with the life relevance included. Back to if it's broke, fix it. What a novel idea in our educational system. Too many people have hidden their heads in the sand and said it's not broke, it's not broke, it's not broke. Well, the fact of the matter is, it is broke. We have not kept up with progression of society as an educational system, and that's going to change starting with our campus. So it is broken, and therefore we are going to apply a fix to it. And what better group to do it than those of you sitting in the audience. Back to logical and necessary. Logistics is simply realism. Teachers are logistical experts. You have to figure out what to do with what resources at any given point in time that can change in the matter of seconds. And so that makes you a logistical expert. And the backward design curriculum that we will begin is very necessary. It's going to make things more efficient for you as an instructional staff. And if you're more efficient, you're going to be better at it. And if you're better at it, ultimately our children are going to succeed, and they're going to win. They're going to be the beneficiaries of it as well. Should be. Clear focus on clear objectives. We will find out where we want the students to be. We'll make that objective clear to everybody, first and foremost ourselves. Then we're going to find out where our students are individually. Differentiation will play a huge part here because of different learning styles and different learning types. So once we identify where our students are and where they need to be, then back to what I said, you get to do what you were born to do, and what you strive to become every single day is a growing teacher. And so you should be excited once again. It will provide for consistent instruction. I'm a quote guy. I'm a poster guy. I like finding sayings of short phrases that have deep, profound, widespread meaning, and this is one of those. My name is consistency. I am related to success. We should hang out more than every once in a while. To me, that spoke volumes as far as our educational system. Once in a while, someone would come up with a venue for success. Every once in a while. Backward design is going to allow you to visit success via consistency more often on a daily basis, or even individual classroom basis. And so it's just going to make everything more efficient, and the outcome is going to be hugely beneficial to everybody. Teacher strengths, again, another little poster that I like. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Backward design is going to allow you to become great teachers. Many of you already are great teachers, but you're going to get even better. Everybody should strive to improve, and I'm no different. You're no different. That's why you're here. And so backward design is going to play to your strengths. You spent endless years and hours trying to become a teacher, and now that you've achieved your goal and your purpose in life, we're going to play to your strengths. And so we're going to give you complete ownership of what you set out to do with your life. Life relevance would be the final reason to institute backward design. The students are the reason we're here. The students are the reason we're involved in this profession. The students are the reason we stay. And so the more relevant we can make our work for our students, then we'll get those visits after graduation. We'll see the results of our instruction way past any tests that are being taken, or way past any ceremony that's being delved out when they're seniors. They're going to be lifelong learners, and it's going to be because of the practice that you put into it, and the focus and the intent and the hard work that you put into it as well. All right, so how are we going to do backward design? It's a 3-step process, which is very simple, and simple is good. The first step would be identify the desired results. The second step would be to determine your assessment evidence, and finally the plan. You get to plan learning experiences and instruction. In other words, activities and strategies that you want to use to achieve that objective. And I'll go into more detail of these as the slides continue, but simply put, it's a 3-step process. It's what do we hope to achieve? How are we going to measure each step of the way what we're achieving? And then finally, what's going to help us achieve that is basically the process. And to me, that plays into strengths of teachers once again. And so let's go with the first stage. Identify the desired results. I'm using the MathTeak 6.3 E, multiply and divide positive rational numbers fluently, because This spoke to me in that our students will be using this for the remainder of their lives, and it's very relevant in today's educational world, but even more so throughout their coming years. So we're going to identify desired results. What do we want them to know at a particular given time? And so there's the objective we spoke of. What are the knowledge and skills that they need to possess in order to achieve this objective? That's going to be where you come in. Identify what knowledge you'll pass on. Identify what skills the children need to learn to be effective in their learning, and apply that. And then finally, make sure that as we apply and as we teach students how to learn, that the learning is going to be enduring. In other words, it's going to stay with them for the remainder in habit, in relevance, and because of rigor. We're gonna require them to problem solve and critical think in the process, and it'll pay off huge dividends in our future and their future especially. The second stage, determine the assessment evidence. Read with me the cartoon here. It kind of hit home for me as well. I taught Stripe how to whistle, says one young man. The other young man says, well, I don't hear him whistling. And back to the first young man, probably going to be a teacher one day. I said I taught him. I didn't say he learned it. This has been stated over and over in teaching circles for numerous years. But you get to determine the assessment evidence. In other words, you as a team will come up with the objective. From the objective, you get to determine what the assessment evidence, how are you going to measure what they're learning as you're teaching, and you have full ownership of it, and that's hugely exciting for you in a time in our society where so many things are micromanaged. You get to take all the bars off, all the limits off, and just teach. And that's what you were born to do. Finally, planning the learning. So after we identify the objective that we want the kids to know, and after we get together as teams and determine the assessment that's going to measure their knowledge and their skills along the way, then we get to sit down and we get to plan with each other. We'll identify the goals. We'll make a plan. We'll complete the plan. We'll assess the plan. And then we get to reflect. So once we disaggregate the data, after we evaluate the learning, we'll reflect. Is it working? Is it not working? Are there adjustments to be made? Can there be tweaks put in to make it more effective? And the answer is always going to be yes, most likely, because of progression, because society progresses, because these kids are going to progress as learners, and so we need to be able to progress and adjust as well. Back to the logistical experts that you most certainly are. You'll get to apply your logistical know-how, and then if we see adjustments need to be necessary, then we'll revise at that time, and then we identify with the students once again. This will be particularly effective with differentiated learning. Many of your learners are going to be different types of learners, different styles of learners, and everybody has them. And sometimes they're overlooked. If they're not learning like we personally learn, then sometimes we tend to overlook that. And so the ability to adjust on the fly is going to be a tremendous benefit for all involved. Finally, I hope this has been helpful to you. Backward design down the road, what do we see happening down the road? And I'll leave you with another poster. Sorry to bore you with all these. From Ralph Waldo Emerson, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it." Simply put, we're in this room together, and we're in this room together on behalf of a student population that is going to be very, very excited to be a part of this school and a part of this campus. And those young men and young ladies are going to go down the road to achieve successful things in whatever their endeavors are and wherever life takes them. And we're going to prepare them for that. And we're going to set the tone, and we're going to establish a culture of learning by doing. And learning is an ever growing achievement for the students, as well as for you teachers, and as well as for administrators especially. We never should quit learning. It's invaluable, and I know we all know that. So I appreciate your attention. I hope you've taken something from this. If I can be of any assistance whatsoever, then please feel free to contact me at any point in time. Thank you very much.